Welcome to the Wealth Builders Podcast, the women entrepreneurs' home for building successful businesses that generate passive income. You have entered a judgment-free zone, so give yourself permission to shake off all the things you haven't done, because your journey to owning a thriving business you love starts right now. Here we go now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Camille Davis and I are super excited to have Til Lowery with us. Til, welcome to the show.
Renee, thank you for having me. It's an honor. It's a privilege. Hello, Camille.
Hello.
Thank you so much. So Til specializes, ladies, in what is called mailbox money. And we want to learn more about this fabulous mailbox money. So Til, can you tell us a little bit how you started? And then we'll kind of get into more about mailbox money and what's the definition, like what does that actually mean? But tell us how you started in this business.
Oh, it was magical. I think in 2002, my brother, who was working for NASA, had 4 children, and he got a divorce. And so he left his house to his wife, his then wife, now ex-wife, with 4 children. That seems to be the right thing to do. So he moved into an apartment. And after 2 years of having the kids every other week in a one-bedroom apartment, he came to me. He goes, "Til, when I got a divorce, my credit was destroyed." I'm like, okay. And I'm really tired of living in an apartment of 2 years with my 4 children. So, okay. He said, "I have the down payment." He's an engineer, so he has money. It's just the unfortunate thing when you get a divorce, you hurt each other. That I still don't get it. You still want to in love, to at least take care of each other for the children. But I said, okay, so you want a house and you have a down payment. And then he said he has the monthly payment also. So my husband said, "I'll do it. I'll buy a house for you using my credit. And you can pay me." At the time, this is 20 some years ago, right? At the time, you actually write a check and mail it to the mortgage company. So he wrote us a check, we deposit in the bank and mail the check to the mortgage company. And
Gotcha.
So we did that. We bought him a house that he wanted. So he got his children in the house and he loves it. 12 years later, he got refinanced. So that's how we got started.
Okay.
And then
all right.
My families are entrepreneurs. So none of them really qualify for a home loan. So then my sister started asking, my cousins started asking, so sure, but we don't have unlimited credit and money, right? So we said, wait, there may be business to be had here.
Okay. Then other family members were entrepreneurs, so they had income, but maybe not the ability to get a traditional loan or a traditional mortgage.
Correct.
Okay. And so then there is a business to be had there. And a lot of people call it owner financing. I don't know what is there a formal term for it?
It's owner financing. We call it third-party owner financing because we're doing it for the third party and connect them to the home buyers. So we call it third-party owner financing. But yeah, owner financing is the right term.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I've done this before. I've owner financed a property as an investor. I made the purchase. I got the loan in my name. And then there was a person who was interested in buying the home, but they didn't have great credit. So we asked, my husband and I, we asked them to put down 20%. And then they gave us 20%. And then they started making the monthly payments to us. And then we would then pay the mortgage company.
Correct.
Is the term for that a wraparound?
It's a wraparound, yes.
Okay.
Unless you have cash, then it's a loan, but it's a wraparound if you borrow money. Yes, correct.
Gotcha. I just want to make sure I'm getting the terminology right, because some of our listeners are like really, really new and they don't know, like, I didn't even know you could do that. And then other people are like, yeah, but I think there's a term for that, like third party, owner financing or a wraparound mortgage. But that's what we're talking about here, audience. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that today. So Til, can you tell me how how did you build a business? Like you went from like one person to your family. Then, as investors, sometimes we run out of money. How did you start to build a business around this?
Well, we started just with my husband and I, right? And then we had close friends. We said, would you like to help home buyers who can't qualify, get them a fresh start in their lives, so they can start owning their houses? And they said, oh, that sounds really good. I can make some money while I'm helping home buyers to get into their home and soon to become independent. What I mean by independent is when they refi and the interest rate is lower. So we want to help them in that way. And so they said, yeah, it's great making money and helping. Yes. So then I get to my close friends, to my relatives, to my whoever could qualify. I said, would you like to help me? And for those who have some cash, self-employed people, okay, I have some cash. I'm okay making 8, 10, 9%. So can I do that too? Sure. And then eventually, you kind of run out of friends and relatives because you have so many buyers who need your help. So then what do you do? I said, well, when my baby turned 18 and left for college, I'm like, I'm going to make a business out of this. There's so many more people who need help. And I want to be there for them because I went through it myself in some period of time. I couldn't qualify for a loan either. And so I was so lucky to have a friend who helped me, but not everybody's so lucky to get a friend or family to help them. So I want to be there for these families. And so I gather a group of investors. Do you want to help me? You want to help me? So eventually we have a beautiful network of investors who used to make passive, active income, making a lot of money. Now they do less work, make a little bit less, but active, but passively. And then, the beauty of passive money, right? Mailbox money. You can be anywhere in this world and get your money, the new world now, you get your money digitally wired into your account or Zelle into your account. You can be anywhere on a private island or anywhere. The money keeps coming in. And that's the beauty of life. Yeah. And then in this group, I know they're very smart. You're very smart, very talented, love real estate, and want to create more wealth for yourself and your family. And that's what wealth is about, right? It's not just about working hard, making a lot of money. It's about knowing what you want and then enjoy the moment in front of you while you're getting what you want. And to me, that's wealth. It may be different for somebody, but the moment in front of you, if you enjoy that and knowing that you want to make passive income and it's coming in with you wherever you are, to me, that's huge wealth.
Yes.
And that's richness. Yes.
Hey, Cammie, how did you meet Til?
Yes, well, it was a miracle, actually. So I don't know, I've never met you before because she's in Houston, Texas, and she's gone to the same networking events that I've gone to. But it didn't happen until I became the Invest Her group leader, meetup leader for Houston, Texas. And she went and she's from Florida, or she used to live in Florida. And she had a Invest Her leader in Florida reach out to me. So Til had done a conference for her, had spoken at her conference, and then she reached out to me and said, hey, would you like Til to come speak? And I'm like, would I ever like Til to come speak? Because then we got on a phone call and we talked to each other. And it's funny because I always, when I first did my first owner finance wrap property, I thought the same thing. I'm like, we need to make a business out of this. But then the time and effort to go find all those people that can qualify for a loan and then to train, and Til's got this amazing program together that way back a long time ago, I thought that would be an amazing thing to do, but then it just takes a lot of time. So I never did it. I wish my first property that we ever bought, the first property we bought with Jet Lending, and we rehabbed it and we put it on the market to sell. And we had this owner finance buyer come to us say that he came and he said, hey, I've got $40,000 down. This was like a $150,000 property. And he's like, and I will pay you 12% interest. He was offering us to finance this property for him. Well, I didn't know you could have a loan on the property. So I had a loan on the property. I'm brand new at this. I totally passed up this opportunity because I didn't know that you could wrap it. I didn't know I could create another note on top of the loan that I already had. And so I sold it. I think I made 17,000, but I would have made 37,000. Plus I would still be making income off of this property. So, and he's still there to this day. And that was 12 years ago. Right. So, no, this is amazing. I love that your whole value in this is to help people. And it started off of helping people because that is truly, and making a win-win. That's what I've learned is that's what makes us successful. That's what makes us good at this. Make it
Yeah.
about the people, right?
And how was your experience, Camille? The first day, were you very nervous with the legality, how to get a
Oh,
home buyers?
yes.
Yeah.
So jet lending, I remember thinking, it's a first time rehab. I bought it as a HUD property. That was a huge property or a huge process to go through to get even the HUD to put the offer in. You had to have an agent that was authorized as a HUD agent. And that's basically a government foreclosure is basically what it is. And only homeowners can buy them. And then they open up to investors. So I remember, and even jet lending, I remember thinking this process was so difficult. And I had to learn all of these things. And it was it was basically carpet and paint is all it was. And when we listed it, we got really nervous because it didn't sell right away. And so then we refinanced. Honestly, it wasn't even that long. We just were really nervous. And then, so we already had a new loan on it. Had already paid off jet lending. It would have been so easy to owner finance. But yeah, it was so, I remember when I said yes to put the offer in, my husband was so scared that he didn't talk to me for a whole day. And I said, well, there's a deadline. There's a deadline. We have to put this offer in. If we don't get it in tonight, we're not getting it. And it's not that he disagreed with doing the offer. I think he was just scared to death too. And then we went and borrowed money from a friend. We borrowed $10,000 from a friend, and that was just mental and emotional comfort. Because when we refinanced, we ended up just going and taking a loan from his 401k. And so this investor got all his money back plus like 50% on his money because we were scared and we needed that peace of mind. But yeah, it is scary. It's scary when you first do it for the first time.
Yeah,
But you did it anyway.
Yeah, that's right. You do have to do it anyway.
You did it
Let's
anyway.
rewind on that just a little bit, Cammie. So you were saying the investor. So are you saying Jet was the investor?
Right. That could be confusing. So no, Jet Lending was our lender.
Right.
But we went and got a friend to help put up $10,000 just to help us like put some rehab money in, which we had the money, but it was so scary for me and my husband. I had quit my job, so we were on just his income. I had quit to stay home with my first baby, and one income and just this, what if we can't make these payments, or putting all this money in upfront, which it was just carpet and paint, but still it was about $10,000 by the time you fix up the floors and you put the paint in. So instead of being nervous if we could make these payments, we went and got a friend that put up the 10,000, and so that we would feel comfortable.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then, but we could have found that money just by we ended up finding the money after because now we're not scared anymore. And it really is just a mindset. Just a mindset.
It is.
He made great money.
You're actually telling my story because I started the exact same way with Jet Lending. They gave us the loan. So it was a hard money loan that we got from them. Then we refinanced out of that loan. We then had that buyer come in, give us 20% down. That was our very first house that we ever purchased. The buyer came in, they put 20% down. We owner financed it to them, and we still hold that note today. So that was in 2010. And so just to say, owner financing can be scary. I will say this, Til, that these particular people that we put into the house, they filed for bankruptcy maybe 4 years in. They filed for bankruptcy, and then for 2 years, we didn't receive any payments at all. So we were making the payments to the bank, to the mortgage company, but we were not receiving any payments at all. And so I know that people, and then we had to get an attorney. We started the foreclosure process, and then they filed for bankruptcy. So to stop the foreclosure process. Today, we've modified their loan, went back in with the loan, increased the percentage in the interest rate, added on all the fees, and now they still owe us for another 20 years. So we fixed it at an interest rate of 8.5%. And so, and it's always been, it was 8% before, now it's 8.5%. And when interest rates were like at 2% and I was getting 8%, it was nice.
No, very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to say, everything's not rosy. There are some things that can happen. Whenever you're considering investing in real estate, you always have to have some sort of contingency. So how do you help? First, let's talk about what's the name of your company. Let's give everybody that. And then how does your company help investors with this whole owner financing deal?
Yeah, the name of my company is TL Global. You can go to tlglobalinc.com and you will learn all about me and the company. But I really feel for you and Camille of the experience you went through, even though you were afraid, but you did it anyway. And that's just when you get out of your comfort zone. Of course, the 2 deals you did, each of you did, you made money, but you had to come out of your comfort zone. So this it's beautiful. Is what it is just you do it anyway. So that's called courage, right? And it's a lot of work, a lot of learning. When you're uncomfortable, that means it's time to learn. So you have to learn it. It's a lot of uncertainties going on and a lot of unknowns. So I've been an investor for over 33 years. That's a long time, older than you, Renee.
No,
no, almost older than you. So I've seen the struggles that our investors go through. The new ones and the seasoned ones still go through a lot of problems. And so I came up with a system, I call it TL Global System, where I take all the problems that I experienced away from our investors and I show them why and how I do it. And then I'll do it for them. So they know, and if they were to decide to do it later, they can do it themselves. But I'll hold their hands to get them through all the problems and all the legality of it, and that makes it easier for our investors, especially the seasoned ones, or the ones who appreciate our program a lot more because they've been through the ups and the downs of it. So we make it really easy for investors to do it. The new ones say, oh, I'll do it, but then they don't appreciate it as much. So I recommend, everybody have a taste of renting, landlording, or fix and flip, a bit of everything so you can experience. And then you get to pick what you really love. Then you do it more of it. So
girl, I am there. I am there. I am ready to pick what I really love. And that is just simply, something easy. I love the idea of doing owner financing this, or third-party owner financing this way, the way that you're doing it, because you're doing all of the heavy lifting.
Yes. And in your case, Renee, if you didn't collect 2 years of payments and you have to pay your mortgage, that's very painful. and you're probably more fortunate you have the money to pay for it. Not all investors have the money to pay for it. Well, with us, we're like, okay, if they don't pay, we'll step in and pay. So then you don't have to worry about paying your mortgage. We step in and pay your mortgage for you. So we're so confident that we can take care of the problems that we said, I will pay for your mortgage.
Give me more of that. So exactly, are there like 3 different bullets or buckets that you help with? Like you help with finding the loan first for the investor, you help with finding the buyer, then you help with problems.
Oh, I will give you a few bullets. All right.
Yeah, give me Kimmy, a few bullets on this. What exactly are you helping with?
You know how hard it was to find your property, right?
Yes.
You found a deeply discounted property. So that was hard. And when you finally actually found it, you have to do renovations to it because it was, some of the ones you found was foreclosure. You have to do renovation to hire contract laborers, a lot of unknowns there. And then once you hire them, you pray they'll do a good job and on time as they promise. And then then you to find a buyer. Once you have it renovated, you have to find a buyer or the renter to get into the house. That's another unknown. And then once you find them, you get them in. You're praying that you found a great one so that they don't destroy your house and make monthly payments. And then once they're in there, and then the days they decide not to pay, then what do? You got to make your mortgage payment because you want to keep your credit. Now you have to go pay an attorney to do a foreclosure or eviction. And then once you evict, then, you get the house back. Then the whole process start all over again. That's a lot of logistics, a lot of unknowns. So for what we do is we take all the unknowns out of the whole system, because I've been through all the unknowns and I hated them all. The worst for me was the renovation. You drive there every day, make sure they do their job, and it's just endless. And I'm like, okay, one day I have properties, and when you have properties, people look at you as like, you're rich because you have so many houses. But
and tell
inside,
them how many properties she had. She had a bunch of properties.
Yeah, it's like when you do it 1 or 2 or 10, it's okay. But when you have more than 10, it's just wild. Each toilet breaks down. You don't know when the AC breaks down, and this is 10 times or 100 times more. It becomes a burden, and it's just no longer living. It's no longer wealth or richness. So I decided, yeah, I look rich, but I don't feel it.
How many properties did you have, Til?
Over the trust and the investors and all, we probably have over 100 and hundreds, really, literally, to all of us together, it's hundreds. Mm-hmm. So we decided, there's got to be a better way of making a living and live. And so I created the system out of necessity because I was miserable. So I created a system. Well, I don't like renovation. I'm gonna take it out. How do I make it without renovation? I don't like the unknown of looking for the home buyers or the renters. How do I figure it out where I get that? So, and then the holding costs, having a house or investment properties, they're holding costs. A lot of them, 80% of the people don't even know how expensive holding costs are. And so the things I didn't like, the thing that I struggled to, I literally created this system to remove all the things I didn't like. And all I have to do now as present, I don't own any houses except for the house I live in. And the rest, I don't own any houses. I just get passive income and go wherever I want to go. And the money still keep coming in. And if the buyers don't pay, then, going through our system, we'll pay for your underlying mortgage while we solve the problems that we know, because I've been in it for so long that we know how to solve these problems, where it takes away of your pain and your uncertainty, and it gives you peace of mind. And I want to do more of it for what I do for myself. I want to do more of it for my people, my investors, and help them have a better life, because life is already rough the way it is without all these real estate problems floating around. I'm like, I want to take a little of what I can away from humankind so that they can continue doing what they love to do and expand impact, go out there, impact people, empower people like yourself and like Camille. I'll take all those problems. I spent 30 years of doing this, and every day is an improvement of the system. And I take a very small niche, owner finance, specifically for challenge credit home buyers. And real estate is such a wide range. And I take this one niche, and I've been using it for the past 20 years and improving it. Yeah, Camille can do it. Renee can do it. But why you do it when you can do what you love? Let me do what I love, right? And so I created this to just make this whole world better, a better place to do and to live, and for you to do what you really love, and you add more value to society of doing what you love, because if you love it, you do it a better job.
God, that is so
I want to take that financial burden out of you and the unknowns out of you so that you can do what you love. If you love real estate and do the wraps and owner finance, I'm happy to train you in that way too, if that's your passion, right? But for Renee, I know you love empowering people, you love connecting people, you want to make an impact to the world, and you're so good at it. You're so amazing at it. And so is Camille. Go have at it, and then, enjoy it and make changes in this world.
I love it. She sounds like me, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Because, it took
Great
me,
minds think alike.
yeah, it took me 12 years and I fully dove in, right? Like full time, had 30 properties by the time I was 4 years in. And it took me this long to be like, I got this. I got every aspect of this. But people don't have that time. They don't have that interest. And if you can solve all those people that can't buy a home, I feel so bad for the Spanish community in general because they will go buy mobile homes, buy land and mobile homes because they're the only ones that will finance homes for people. Well, that's what they think because there's not a lot of people that do what you do. And then they will pay 18% interest
Oh my
for
gosh.
these mobile homes. There was one guy that I just talked to, has a home and paying $1,800 a month on a mobile home. He has land, but he can't keep up these payments. It's like they set them up for failure, and the poor, they're just trying to live the American dream. They're just trying to have a house. And you can come in and create this, I can finance for you. This is like huge, huge, especially in Texas. I think anywhere in the United States, but especially in Texas. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Until I know that there are several groups of people that this type of financing can help, or this type of program can help all kinds of buyers. So sometimes we have, buckets of people who are maybe, Camille mentioned maybe immigrants, or you have people who are just entrepreneurs who don't have the way that the government works as far as taxes. If you're an entrepreneur, you want to try to write off everything that you possibly can write off, which means you're showing very little income. You want to show losses. And this is for every person that's in business, in America. You want to show losses to reduce your tax burden. That's legal, But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because I showed all of these losses and I have no income. But now I want to purchase a property and the bank is saying, show me the money. Give me your tax returns. Yeah, where are your tax returns for the last 3 years? Okay, and you're trying to buy a house and I see that you had a loss for the last 3 years. There's no income to be reflected. So not only, there are all kinds of people who can be affected by this, no matter their socioeconomic class, their race, their religion, their ethnicity. This is something that affects everybody, no matter who you are, because this program can fit people who have cash, but don't necessarily have the qualifications to meet a standard or a traditional loan. Is that about right, Til?
Yeah. Do you know? Yeah, it's about right. Do you know that approximately 8 out of 10 people cannot qualify for home loan in America? That's a lot of us, that's a lot floating out there. And so what do they do? The 80%, what do? They end up renting, right? Or living with their parents. And so there are so many out there and they need our help. And for the audience, for those who need help, the self-employed people like us, I mean, I'm sure you write off a lot. It doesn't show like you make as much on the tax income, but does that mean you're poor? Oh, you're smart. You write off everything, all your travels, business travels, and your meals, but you can't qualify. Now, self-employed people, their employees can qualify, but the boss can't. Okay, how does that work?
That is so true.
Yeah. And then the people who come from outside the country and want to, invest in our country, they don't have social security number, but they want to be here. They can't qualify for a loan. Or like my brother in this case, who's divorced and have bad credit and perfectly legit. He's an engineer. You know how details they are, how anal they are. I can say that because I'm married to one. And so, how it's such a great person cannot qualify for a home loan, who always take care of his finances and just go through some unfortunate events and he can't get a home loan. Or the people who had a bankruptcy and want to start their lives. It's very hard to restart their lives after you get a bankruptcy. It takes years to get started. And we want to be there for those people. They're great people. It's just bad events happen, and we want to help them to get back on their feet.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Yeah.
So student loans, like student loans. If you define student loans, I think now maybe there's some changes, but when early in my time, student loan, if you define student loan, you can't get a loan at all. And for the students who just started out, they need help. They don't need to be hurt even more, right?
That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way for someone who wants to invest in real estate and make a good passive income as well, because you're handling all the problems. They go get a loan and they get to make passive income. They get to make all that money, right? So that's a great way for someone to do it.
Thank you for teeing up. That was my next question. That's exactly where I'm going. So before we get out of here, we're believe it or not, we're actually rolling through our time. There are a couple of different people who can connect with you. So first, buyers. We've spent a lot of time talking about how we can help buyers. Second, I think real estate agents, you have, an interest in, if there are agents who have buyers who meet the kind of this group and they're looking for a way to get those buyers qualified, maybe this program could work for them. And then third would be those real estate investors who are looking for passive income opportunities. So how do real estate investors, you told me how you can help us, like you're taking away all of the problems really. But how do we get involved with the program as an investor? What does that look like?
For home buyers, we always talk about it at length. So we're making, as an investor, we make money while helping home buyers. Now, I'll touch a little bit on realtors, because I think you're also a realtor.
I am.
Realtors, what do you do when you have buyers who cannot qualify for home loan? Can you represent them, or do you want to represent them? Smart realtors want to check if the home buyers are pre-approved for a loan first, or have the cash to buy first, or it'll be a huge waste of your time, right? You can show houses, but they can't buy. So what do you do with those buyers? Sometimes you send them credit repairs and all that, and show them, give them some tips, but it's years later, or even, ever. So here you can just convert your home buyers who cannot qualify, pretty much dead leads, into live leads by sending them to us, and we interview them to make sure they're good fit. And once they're good fit, we send them back to you and say, help them find a house, and then we'll get an investor to buy that house for you. So you can now the realtors represent the investor. Now you get a commission.
Yes,
so that's huge.
All the realtors were like, yay, yes. All of my buyers that don't qualify for a regular loan.
Yeah, right. And you do nothing except having another tool in your pocket, and, knowing your group, you're very smart and aggressive, and you want to help home buyers. Now you can double help them, get them a home. And for those who cannot qualify, what do you think of making an extra deal a month or an extra deal a week? How would that change you, right? And while you're feeling good. Now, for investors, we also train investors of how to make mailbox money. I like to call it mailbox money because I'm more old-fashioned. I've been around for a long time. So mailbox money, feel like, oh, wow, that's money coming in and I don't have to do anything except going to the bank. But now you don't even have to go to the bank. If they're interested, I'm happy to talk to them. Go to tailglobalinc.com and then register, or call me at 713-382-5000, and we can have a chat and see if I can help. Even if you're going through some owner finance deals and you're stuck, I'm happy to unstuck you.
And I've been through one of your trainings, and you are so organized, and she's got the most amazing team. Cute women that look just like you. They're powerful women. And I loved your coach too, the one that spoke. I don't remember his name right now.
Kevin. Yes.
He was so entertaining and so good, and just kept the things moving along, and he's been in real estate forever. So just a great team, like a great business.
Tell me about the training. Yeah. Just real quick. What was the training on?
So she has the buyers, she has a training for them. She has a training for the realtors, and she also has a training for the investors who want to come in and invest. But she has courses, and then she feeds you. It's all free. She feeds you. And she gave me like this this charger thing like for free. I mean, she's just a wealth of she just shares her wealth with everyone.
But do you
But
like the chargers?
yeah, I got the chargers. Thank you.
Would you like for me to make more to give away?
I love them. Yeah, I mean, I'll hand them out to people. And they really work really well. It's like basically a charger you can carry around with your phone, and keep it charged up. Because Til travels all the time. She has this perfect lifestyle where she can just go wherever she wants to. The passive money just comes in, mailbox money. And but no, her program is so organized, and so ours was the realtor training. I went with Kyle, my husband, and it was so impressive. It's amazing. Thank you.
So is it online? Is it Zoom or online or only in person in Houston?
Well, for realtors, it's in person because and buyers are alike, right? Because realtors, we give service. We want to do the best job, so we want to know hands-on so that we can better help our home buyers, right? And for buyers, it's such a big purchase ticket item and they get nervous. So we usually want to meet in person to hold their hands to make sure we're for real. Some people go through 3 times, 5 times and get rejected. So now they come to us. Is this a scam? I said, well, let me show you, because, is it a scam? Well, you've been turned down for 3-5 times. We're here to help you. How could it be a scam, right? So we'll make sure to them that, we're here, we've been around for a long time and we're here to stay. So that makes them feel good. That it makes them very nervous. For most buyers, it's their first time. And we want to make sure they feel good. So we do most of our trainings in person. And so the same with investors. Yeah. And, it's, like where you are is probably 45 minutes from our office. But sometimes people fly from all over the country.
I'm sure
they go to our training. Yeah. And sometimes they just fly, like.
You're expanding,
sorry,
right? I didn't mean to interrupt you. I think you're expanding. Like she's got one in Dallas, a training in Dallas.
We have one in Dallas,
in Houston, and expanding
we're working
to
on San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yeah, and San Antonio. So we want to make it convenient for all home buyers and investors and realtors alike, because used to the people from Dallas flew to the airport. We met them at the airport. And then after we're done with the presentation, they flew back to Dallas. So like, how can we make it more convenient for all home buyers and investors? So we're expanding for convenience for our clients. Yes.
But you do have investors from all over the world, right?
Yeah. California, Connecticut, New York, they're pretty much everywhere. Investors, they can be anywhere. Home buyers, we're just now in the state of Texas only.
Okay, gotcha. So if people want to get more information as we wrap up and just kind of put a bow on this, if people want to get more information, Til, it's TL Global Inc.com?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
INC.com.
Yes. Correct. INC, like Incorporated. All right. So T is in Til, L is in Lowery. Is it Lowery?
Lowry.
T is in Til, L is in Lowry, globalinc.com. And if people go there, whether they are investors, buyers, or real estate agents, they can find some sort of information or how to contact you there, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, Til, this has been a fantastic conversation. Camille, do you have any more questions for this powerhouse woman before we get out of here?
No, I feel privileged that we finally got you on the podcast. You're a busy woman.
I know. Yeah, it took one.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. And for your audience, if you ever need me for any reason, I'm literally an email away. I'm not very good with returning text messages, but I'm an email away. Is at icare@tilllowery.com, TILLOWERY.com. And, I usually respond within 24 hours. If I don't, that means I forgot about you. Don't get your feelings hurt. just resend the email, and
Yes,
and then
right. Just email it again.
and just resend the email. But don't say I'm neglecting you, because I have so much going on in my life. But I promise I will get back within 24 hours. And then if you do it the second time, most likely before 24 hours.
Yeah. And it's I care, the letter I, CARE at Til Lowery, and last name LOWERY.com. Okay. All right. Well, Til, thanks again for your time today. It has truly been a pleasure. We have learned so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Drenay and Camille. Thank you for having me on the show.
That's all for this episode. Come back soon for more tools, resources, and great stories from successful women entrepreneurs. We believe you absolutely can build a business you love and have passive income. Until next time, thank you for listening.